All right, you gotta see this. I love how JD Vance answered this question. I mean, they keep trying to set him up with the gotcha questions, but he keeps crushing it. Like in this exact thing right here, this situation where the media tries to frame a question in a gotcha way, he's better than Trump at answering these type of questions in a way where it's just flawless, where the media doesn't have something to latch onto to make them look bad or sound bad in any conceivable way. Listen.
So this week we learned that China was behind a broad hacking campaign targeting the phones of both presidential campaigns, highlighting the threat that China poses to this country. And yet Donald Trump recently called his domestic political opponents, quote, the enemy from within, and said they are more dangerous than Russia and China. Do you believe that people like Adam Schiff and Nancy Pelosi are more dangerous than Russia and China?
Well, I think what Donald Trump said is that those folks pose a greater threat to United States' peace and security because America is strong enough to stand up to any foreign adversary.
Do you agree with him? They pose a larger threat to the United States than Russia and China?
What he said, and I do agree with this, what he said is that the biggest threat we have in our country, it's not a foreign adversary because we can handle these guys. We can handle foreign conflicts. We can handle, look, under Nancy Pelosi's long life in public leadership, the United States has gone from the preeminent industrial power of the world to second next to China. That fundamentally belongs on Nancy Pelosi's shoulders. And if we're going to have a more prosperous country, we've got to recognize our own leadership is why we lost our industrial base to China. Our own leadership is failing to lead this country into peace and prosperity. And of course, Kamala Harris, look, when I look at the biggest threats to America, Kristen, I think the fact that people can't afford groceries, the fact that we can't meet our recruitment goals in the military, the fact that Americans have a wide open southern border, that's a way bigger threat than any foreign threat. And yes, it's caused by broken leadership.
Flawless. So this skill set right here, JD is better than Trump at this. No question about it, because Trump would answer that question in the same way, in a great way. He'd be funny doing it. He'd get people excited when he does it, but he would just give them a piece of something to grab onto and twist around and say like, oh, look, he said that we need to throw them in jail, or he made it sound violent, whatever. But love how JD answers these questions. If you want to know who controls America, I've made a multi-part series. Click right here to learn more about the $20 trillion family that might in fact own America.